Hi, welcome to the Teenish Podcast. Michael and I, we're back
Back again.
for another episode.
Do you know what that was a reference to?
What did you just say?
I said back again.
Back at it again.
No,
that
not that meme.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
What is it?
The Daniel.
Oh, dang, Daniel.
Back at it again with the white vans.
That.
Nah, mine was the Eminem song that I was referencing.
No, I don't like Eminem. I don't not like Eminem. I just don't listen to Eminem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, on to the topic
Wait,
of today's
hold up now. Today is a very special day. Do you know why this day is special, Michael?
I do know why this day is special.
Why is this day special? Because this day is unlike any other day. Matter of fact, today is a national holiday. Not the day that we're recording this. I mean, today, like right now. The day that this podcast came out. It is. Hold up, everybody. Please sit down Please sit down before I say this. You sitting down, Michael?
I'm sitting down. Are you sitting down?
Today is my mother's birthday. I can't hear y'all right now. Let me try that again. Today is my mother's birthday. There we go. Turn up. There we Yeah, today's my mom's birthday, and
that was so cringy, man.
I know,
that was like,
I know it was cringy.
You're in the kindergartner's auditorium, and
yeah,
you're like talking
I can't hear you. Yeah, today is my mom's birthday. So we're actually recording this 2 days before. So we're recording this Wednesday of this week. So I do have
29th.
Yeah, the 29th. I have a lot planned for my mom's birthday, so I think it's gonna be very fun. I also have a band concert on that day as well.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that shall be fun. It's not much to see, but yeah, maybe our next concert.
Yeah, no. Happy birthday, Miss Caroline.
Oh yeah, happy birthday. So what are we talking about today, Mikes?
Today we are going to be talking about teen dating.
Ooh.
And how it can be good and bad for you.
Okay, so I feel like every time we come up with a topic, there's a backstory on who liked it and who didn't like it when it comes to Michael and I.
Yeah, we definitely have
because Michael was like, what does that have to do with anything?
I didn't necessarily
What was the thing I said in the car that was so logical and made you like...
I don't know, but
talking?
He said something in the car on the way over here to film this podcast, so like legitimately like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
That actually made me up to do this.
Yeah, because Michael was like...
Because I thought that this had no like good reasoning, but then we started looking at websites and stuff, and he said something, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's reasonable.
Yeah, so my main point was talking about like... We're not saying that you should be in a relationship when it comes to having a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or you should not. We're saying that we need to be knowledgeable about it. And that's something that we talk about a lot on this podcast. Like even when we were in the politics podcast, we weren't talking about being a Democrat, a Republican, an independent. We were talking about just being knowledgeable about politics in general as a teen. Just like when it comes to this, dating. We're not saying that you need to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. We're not saying that you do not need to have, or you don't, that you need one or you don't need one. We're saying let's just be knowledgeable, because if it wouldn't be beneficial to you, and then you end up getting one, and then bad things just happen. But if you're fine with it, your parents are fine with it, you've worked out the steps, you're mature enough, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with that. But that's what Michael and I are really going to talk about today. And what led me to pick this topic was really because of what's coming up. And we all know what's coming up. Next Friday is Valentine's Day. The 14th. That day where you're either happy
or you're so sad.
Or you're in the middle, which is me every year. I'm just like, I mean, I'll go out with some friends. So I already made plans. I'm not dating anybody right now, but I did make plans already for Valentine's Day. So that shall be fun. Yeah.
Honestly, Valentine's Day is just a throwaway holiday.
Why you say that? It's not a throwaway holiday.
I don't think unless if you are married or engaged, that it's actually a holiday.
But what if you've been dating for like a long time? What about that?
Oh, so you're saying like
now, what if you've been dating like just like 2 years? You can't go out for.
Okay, no, I'm not saying that it's not a Okay,
I got you.
somehow, like
Dang,
Gene
I've been
always
getting
does.
Michael today. I've been getting Michael today.
Okay.
But actually, Valentine's fall on a Friday this year, so that's very cool. It's usually like on a Wednesday or a Tuesday or something like that. But yeah, so a lot of flowers are going to be bought in, chocolates,
Oh
cards,
yeah, all the
and everything
candies.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so it's going to be a special day, and I know that Valentine's has something to do with. I know it has like a religious background. I've talked about it briefly in one of my classes before. I think it has something to do with Saint Valentine or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot about it, but one thing that I do know is that it does have like a gruel history.
Okay, so yeah, it does have.
Do you know the gruel history, Michael?
Okay, so
But this is our history.
From what I understand is that Saint Valentine's was not a very good person, and so the holiday used to be called Lupercalia. I'm definitely pronounced that all wrong. It's an ancient Greek holiday, celebrating the marriage of Zeus and Hera. I don't know quite how it got gruesome and like how stuff happened, how stuff went downhill. I just know that it happened.
But speaking about gruesome, have you ever had a gruesome Valentine Day?
No, I have not, but I've seen very many movies about.
Well, I think you had somebody to talk about, Michael, because before we started recording, you were like, "Can we say names, or how do we not say names?"
Okay,
so
I'm
who
not
were you referring
mentioning
to?
any. No, okay, so the reason why I did that was because I figured we would be talking about stories.
Yeah, bring something up.
Like,
bring something up, Michael.
Not doing that.
Okay, my memories.
This is why I thought it would be a bad idea because I thought we would bring up stories and people would get offended.
Wow, Michael. Anyway,
I'm not.
Anyway,
I'm not
I used to love Valentine's Day. It was an excuse to get candy at school every day. When I think of Valentine's Day, I have memories from elementary school because everybody used to make cards for all their classmates, like just as friends. Like we all were just like so eager to give everybody a card. Like if our parents did not buy chocolate, if they did not buy candy, the whole world was ending. If everybody in our class did not have a card to take home from each person, it was something wrong.
Do you remember the candygrams?
Oh, now that if you had a crush in elementary school and they got your candygram and you had the guts to tell them like via the candygram, man, you had it going on, especially if you had that $1.
Shoot, they went all the way up to $5.
Yeah,
man, for them nerd ropes.
Yeah,
and back in the day, if you got a candygram with a nerd rope in it, oh man.
Yeah, so
popping off.
Oh yeah, that's my memories. Middle school, I can't really remember Valentine's Day in middle school. High school, I just see a lot of teddy bears and chocolates and roses and stuff like that.
So at my school,
they also confiscate all that.
My school is super strict on Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
on every holiday.
And I don't blame schools for that. I mean, I come for the candy, but the thing is, I can't even eat the candy. Like if somebody tries to give me stuff, just like as friends, like, oh, happy Valentine's Day. I can't eat that chocolate. The chocolate's nasty anyway. You remember how nasty? Well, I'm talking to myself. Remember how nasty that chocolate used to be? Yeah, this chocolate used to be so nasty. Like the ones with coconut and stuff all up inside of it.
Okay, now you're coming after me,
and
man.
Then, what? I know you like the nasty chocolate, Michael. What's wrong with Hershey's? To get Hershey's. But nah, we got to get this corner store chocolate with chocolate and strawberry and orange and green stuff just going out of the chocolate. Who wants that?
Dude, man.
Nobody don't want of...
If you put coconut in anything, it makes it better.
Michael, disgusting. I'll eat coconut. I'll use coconut oil. I use coconut lotion. Today I had a conversation with somebody. They said I smelled like coconuts. And I said, I know I smell delicious. Coconuts are delicious.
Yeah, then why are you coming after me and my coconut
because
candy,
coconut chocolate
is amazing.
And what are those little snowmen that you be like tearing up when we go camping?
Okay, those are snowballs, okay?
Those things look so nasty and unhealthy. Dude, all that sugar that be inside them things.
If you put coconut in anything, I just want you to know it's going to be delicious.
Disgusting.
You can put legitimately coconut on anything in the world, and it will taste good.
You won't catch me doing that. But let's start talking about dating, Michael.
Okay.
And let's start talking about why dating may not be for everyone.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna start off with the bads first.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
And one thing that a lot of people may say when it comes to dating is that you are a teen and you're still getting to know yourself. So why put yourself in someone else's arms, quote unquote, if you don't even know who you are? And so coming at the standpoint or at the approach to where like you are the most important person for yourself. And you are the most important person that you will ever date, especially as a teen. Think about it, Michael. We're 17, 18 right now. There's a lot about us that we don't know about ourselves. Like
you got to get to know you, man.
Yeah. So getting to know yourself, to recognize what type of person you are, to recognize.
As a teen, you're open to major heartbreaks, and that's not good for you at a young age. It can seriously mess with you. It'll hurt you, it messes with your temptations, and, it can leave you physically and mentally unable to handle challenges when you get older.
And you're right, because this is a time that our brains are developing the most. Our brains are still developing, connecting together, whatever you want to call it. But this is when the most growth and change is happening to us when it comes to the mental standpoint of our health and being. And so exposing yourself when it comes to relationship, no matter how mature you say you are, we're still liable to go through heartbreak, pain, going through too much emotionally, physically, when it comes to love. And so, yeah.
Okay, so when we were looking this up, the person who wrote the article that we're getting a lot of the information from said, and I quote, that they have received a lot of emails from 14 and 15-year-olds struggling with unimaginable heartbreak, so much heartbreak that this grown woman writing this article
dedicated this.
Had actual heartfelt, serious, issues with this, and that's why they made this article.
Yeah, and like for me personally, I haven't really gone through like I've had relationships before, Michael. You know that. I guess I'm more on the positive side. So I really don't have much to add to this when it comes to me, but I know that I've seen so many of my friends go through heartbreak, pain, and for some have even had temptations that we understand what we're talking about. So, yeah. So not dating would alleviate that or would allow that not to happen. So, and when you're dating, or I guess when it comes to teens dating, we see a lot of successful relationships happen after our teen years, after high school. I mean, you hear about the high school sweethearts, but they'll let you know that we are high school sweethearts. But other people, they meet each other on the workplace. They meet each other going out of town. They meet each other on dating apps and stuff like that. I mean, like when you think about it, back then, I'm pretty sure that it used to be very popular that high school sweethearts, hey, we started dating in...
Yeah, no, but...
Like even your parents, Michael.
Yeah, well, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom was in high school.
Okay, well, still, yeah.
Anyways, I was going to say about high school sweethearts back in the day, not a lot of those lasted.
Back in the day?
A lot of... I'm
saying
right
now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Then forever, really.
Yeah.
They've never actually really lasted. Like, they've lasted for like a decade or two, and then it ends in divorce.
You're saying now. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So those that were sweethearts now are the ones that are getting divorces now. Oh, okay. I understand what you're saying.
And it's just basically a waste of time. I mean, if you want to put it that way, I wouldn't say that, that would be a waste of time. But if you're focusing on finding the person that you want to be with forever, and you spend that amount of time with someone and then get a divorce, that sounds like a waste of time to me.
Yeah. And I guess like our final point is not only because confident teenagers don't need somebody else to complete them, but it's also because your life is just meant to be enjoyed. I mean,
you only live once.
Yeah, I mean, you do only live once, and like being like you and I, we've stayed out of relationships for the most part.
For the most part,
we've stayed out of relationships. Yeah. And I mean, we've had friendships, like other friendships. Our friendship is different because we're not. I'm not worried about you breaking up with me because we're friends, Michael.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. So it's like when you're in a relationship, it's like, okay, well, what if I say this wrong? Are they still going to love me? Are they still going to like me or something like that?
You have to constantly try to please that person because you're scared that something might fall through.
Yeah, because like Michael is family.
Family.
Yeah,
family.
Yeah. He tried me one time, but then I popped him upside. No, I'm just
Okay, we have gotten into a number of fights in our
We've gotten into one
friendship.
big fight. One.
I mean,
what are the other ones, Michael?
We've gotten into fights.
I mean, just because you didn't get enough sleep. Just because you didn't get enough sleep doesn't mean that you have to say that we got in fights. Come on, use your words.
Gene, okay, listen. We have had arguments as we are now.
Michael, if you're qualifying this as an argument, this is not an argument. Michael, look at this. Tidbit. We're talking about relationships right now. Look at this relationship. Look at this. This is my best friend right here.
This is my best friend
elementary
right
school. And every day he comes from my life. Well, he got in the car this morning. What did you? Okay. What were you talking about?
Listen, okay.
This is what he said.
He was trying me straight up.
Like, I don't think this is a good idea. I don't like this podcast topic. And I said, why don't you like it, Michael? You know, I was using. Why don't you like it, Michael?
Okay. Let's not mention that you were talking a whole bunch about my outfit right here, man. You know.
He had to bring it up. He told. First of all, before he was leaving his house, his sister said, "Michael, I know you're not leaving the house with that shirt on." And then he left. So talk about your shirt, Michael, because you said you was going to talk about it. This is your time to talk about it.
Currently, I am wearing a shirt, a wrestling shirt. As we mentioned in the last podcast, I'm a big wrestling fan. Huge wrestling fan. That's how our friendship got started.
That's how it started, but that's not why it's still going.
So my favorite wrestler has recently made a return after 9 years.
Wait, you talking about Edge?
I'm talking about Edge.
Michael, this shirt is Edge's shirt? Wait, he made a return to WWE?
Yes.
Michael, how you didn't tell me this?
Because I was waiting for the podcast to tell you it, man. It's a big deal. I know.
That's like CM Punk coming back and you not telling me. Michael, I'm not watching it. We're not talking about this. No,
well,
Michael, no.
The
CM Punk is
reason,
not coming back.
He's not coming back. But this Royal Rumble is when Edge returned. And I thought that there was a good chance that both mine and his favorite wrestlers, who have not wrestled in mine 9 years, his 6 or 7.
That's when I stopped watching, but that's not the reason why I stopped watching.
But I thought that they had a good chance of both of them coming back, and I was like, "That is freaking crazy. We have to talk about that on the podcast." Yours sadly did not.
Yeah, but
we
watched
mine
a movie with him in it, but he's still around.
We did watch a movie.
He's still around.
It was a good movie. He still does stuff. But mine had a legitimate bad injury, like life-threatening. He would have took one more bump. That's what it's called in wrestling when you fall or get slammed or whatever. Could have been paralyzed for life. Could have even died. He had a triple fusion neck surgery, and he was out for 9 years. Never thought he would ever make an in-ring return again.
So is he medically cleared?
Yeah, he's been working out. He's been, he's been doing what he can for these past 9 years, trying to get in the best shape where he can.
Oh, he had intentions on coming back?
Yeah. Yeah, he had intentions on coming back.
Dang, Michael, you waited for a long time.
Dude, yeah. Okay, 2011 was a very hard year for me, okay? Very hard year for me.
Yeah, and some teenagers can say that as well when it comes to dating.
Oh,
but Michael and I, we're going to talk about the benefits when it comes to dating. All right, so when you're dating, most of the times you're dating somebody from your school or somebody that's in the same setting as you, and so you have a lot of face-to-face time. Or you're not you're not working 40 hours a week either. So, of course, you're going to have more time or the ability to have more time to see your partner. And so the main benefit of that is, of course, spending time with them, developing a relationship, and you just have more time when you're a teen. I mean, you don't have many as obligations.
You don't have a job. And
you have no kids to take care of.
Yeah, no kids to take care of. And plus, the main place where you're going to see that person that you're dating, most likely, is at school where you are both required to go.
And this also is a benefit because of our growing society when it comes to social media. Social media, it creates so many barriers when it comes to talking, trying to communicate. So many things can be perceived very differently on text rather than seeing somebody in person. Like, I can say something to my mom right now and she can take it a different way rather than me talking to her because there's no inflection on the text message. So that's,
Can't wait for us to do a social media episode.
I'm surprised we haven't. I guess our first...
That was sarcastic. I do not want to do a social media episode.
This is how he always starts out when we're talking about episodes. Then I say, oh, we can talk about this and that and that. And he's like...
onward. Okay, so...
Good idea. You all right, Michael?
I'm dying. No, I'm not.
Yeah, Michael just recently got over Ebola, so I'm glad that he's good now.
Okay, so identity check-in is the next thing that I was going to bring up. So you know who the person is that you're talking to because, like we already mentioned, you're going to school with that person, you're around that person constantly, probably. Most likely.
So this is the opposite of finding yourself.
Yeah, this is the opposite.
This approach is saying like, okay, well, you don't know yourself. This person will help you know yourself. Is that what?
It will help you find.
It will help you find
yourself.
And that, I'm not going to lie, I have even friends that have allowed me to find myself, more of myself. Like that have given me an environment to really express who I am. Like that have given me like an open environment, a judgment-free zone to where I could. If I want to act a fool, I can act a fool. If I wanted to, I felt safe, basically. And having that
safe haven?
Yeah, like a safe haven, supportive friend group our environment to where this is a time where I can really reveal a lot about myself rather than holding it back and even find out. And so, yeah, you learn a lot about yourself through other people. That's just my opinion. And so I'm kind of more on this side. I don't know where you lie at when it comes to you should date or you should not date. I'm saying, in my opinion, if you know you don't want to date, then that's your decision. If you're not worried about not dating, then that's your prerogative as well.
See, but the great thing about this podcast is that it's your choice.
Yeah.
We're just listing out, examples of ways that it can help you and can't help you.
Yeah, we're trying to give...
It's your choice.
Yeah, your choice. And the thing that Michael and I talk about a lot is we want to create an environment to where we pose things and we let you decide.
Yeah.
This is not a podcast to where Michael and I are going to be like, you need to believe this, you need to believe that. Because even when it came to our last episode 2 weeks ago when it came, or even last week when we did the dropouts. So dropouts and then even talking about politics, we weren't saying you need to be this, you need to be that. We were talking about you need to be knowledgeable about that because this is our society relies on politics. You need to be knowledgeable about it. So then you can make an educated decision based off of your beliefs. When it comes to dating, we're giving you the basis of dating, the pros and the cons of dating, why dating may be detrimental to some and benefit others. Detrimental to somebody's mental health, a benefit to somebody's mental health. You get it? Mm-hmm. And so everybody knows where they lie. I know where I lie. You know where you lie. You know where you lie. And so Michael and I we're giving you that atmosphere to create positive habits. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to positive habits, that can be also put into relationships. One thing about a relationship, Michael, you are supposed to be dedicated to that person. To when it comes to how they're doing, what are they doing? Let's hang out. Oh, how's everything going in your life? to where we're creating positive habits that we can take outside of our relationship and put into other relationships, whether it be family, friends, loved ones, or even classmates, stuff like that. And so you're positive habits. I mean, a lot of negative habits can come out of that as well. We're talking about staying up late and staying on the phone and constantly texting. But it's to the person. I mean, you'll see the detrimental effects or the positive effects when it comes to anybody. But yeah, that's my 2 cents when it comes to what Michael and I are trying to do for this podcast and what we feel like we are doing. Anything else that we need to talk about, Michael?
Let me see real quick. Looking through my notes. Should we talk about different perspectives or?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, my mom, I can talk like for me personally. My mom has no, like, if I want to date, then of course I'll talk to my mom. Like, this is my friend that we're trying to date. This is about her, like that. And I mean, then it will work out. But of course, there's expectations. Of course, there's rules. And then there's even red flags when it comes to dating. And I know you have a list of those, Michael.
Mm-hmm, I do. There are...
I know about abuse.
There are a lot of them, so I'm just going to list a couple of them.
No, not sleeping.
Yeah, not sleeping was going to be the first one.
I know you're about to say that. Yeah, took it right out.
Abuse, like you said,
yep.
Both mental and physical.
Mm-hmm.
Dropping out, actually, surprisingly, is a habit.
Guess why?
Why?
We didn't bring this up, but guess why? Chasing somebody else. Think about it.
I didn't think about that.
Think about it. If you're chasing, let's say your partner is going out of town or a state, like
they're moving.
They're moving. And they want you to come with them. And you're in college or you're in high school. Mostly in college, it will be. You'll mostly see that in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you keep going.
Abandoning friends and family, which is kind of similar to. It's running away.
I feel you. Also, lying, sneaking out.
Mm-hmm.
That's something. That's a big red flag when it comes to dating. Where you see, when you have to change what you do normally, something that you would not normally do, when it comes to dating, that's when things are getting uneasy. That's when, hey, we're getting on that fine line. Yeah, we're getting on some fine line. Do you have any other ones, or do you have like any tips when it comes to
inconsistent behavior and mood changes? So like think like a roller coaster.
Okay, so like when
relationships up and down.
When relationships go up and down. So if the relationship is good, my home life is good, but when the relationship is bad,
you don't want to.
Don't
want no part of it. So you want to talk about anything else?
I want to also say like role models. I guess we kind of, as teens, and that's why some people may say we shouldn't date, or we should. It's also, we try to model our relationship to the relationships that we've seen, whether it comes from TV, our household, whether it comes from what we've seen our friends go through. We're modeling it, and that's because, that's anything in our lives when it comes to that. We do things the way that other people do it. Just not because it's right or wrong, but just because that's what we've been exposed to. And so that's why Michael and I wanted to talk about this podcast, because we want to expose you all to a diverse group of topics that we want to talk about. And this is something a little different than what we've really talked about. But like Michael and I, we're allowing y'all to form your like your identity, to form your thoughts when it comes to dating. Yeah, and with that being said, happy birthday, Mom. First of all, I want to thank you for believing in Michael and I, and also allowing us to use our house to record this podcast, because you could have said no to the studio. But you have given me the opportunity to create this podcast, to create a platform with my best friend, Michael. And I truly want to thank you for that, for allowing me to be friends with Michael. Yeah, I used to always be at Michael. I still am always at your house, Michael.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Michael wants to kick me out every time I arrive to his house. He's like, dang it, there's Gene again.
Not every time.
I don't know why he's here.
Just most of the time.
Yeah, I go there to get, my non-vegan. No, I'm just playing. I would never do that to myself.
I've tried so many
Yes,
times.
I'm gonna try to be good.
Someday I'm gonna feed your kids on vegan food. Have we talked about this? I think we've already talked about this in the podcast.
That's why I'm not saying anything, because if I know we're gonna be here for another 30 minutes.
Okay. Anyways, like we were getting to.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Mom. Happy birthday. I truly love you, and I want to thank you for all the great things that you have done for not only my life, but for others' lives. I mean, the job that you have, you are at the front lines every day, helping people that don't know how to ask for help when it comes to mental health, and I want to thank you so much for that. And I hope to have my mom on for this next month, Michael.
I hope to have your mom on too. I think our second episode of...
We shall see. We shall see.
Like,
but I know my mom has a lot of good things to talk about. So the only thing I have to say is mental health. Get ready. I'm speaking that. That's what my mom and I are going to talk about. Well, Micheal. Remember I called you that one day when I answered?
I don't know.
I was like, Micheal, and then you just act like you didn't hear it, and you kept talking about something else.
It's very possible.
Okay. Well, Michael and I want to thank you all for listening, watching the Teenish Podcast. Today we talked about teen dating. We're allowing you to decide that. But you can contact Michael and I at the host, that THEHOSTS at theteenishpodcast.com. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, or Spotify, iTunes, YouTube.
Yes,
YouTube is where you can see us. Instagram, the other places you can just listen to us, but you can watch us and listen to us. And Michael and I, we ask that you do both. But also share this podcast to somebody that you think would definitely benefit from this. And we want to thank you all for sticking around to the end. And we hope to see you all next Friday. Have a nice one. Back to you. Back to you. Thanks, Jim. We want to thank you all so much. Back to the studio.
Is this going to...
Back to the studio right now.
Are you going to leave this in the...
I'm having problems hearing you, Jim.